So major breaking news here at 6. We've spent the past few hours looking through the thousands of documents, photos, and audio files just released in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. This comes after President Trump signed a bill in November, a bipartisan bill to force release of DOJ files. The administration has fallen well short of releasing all those files up to this point. The deadline was tonight.
And we want to get right over to investigative reporter Terry Parker. Terry, we know those started dropping shortly after 4 o'clock. What are you learning?
I can tell you that the majority of the photos and documents are redacted in some form, including the 119-page New York grand jury report. There are several pictures of Epstein with celebrities and high-profile people. A young Jeffrey Epstein holding a cigar surrounded by topless girls, just one of the thousands of pictures released. We also see later pictures of Epstein surrounded by wealth on his island in the Virgin Islands and in his many homes, often with Ghislaine Maxwell, many with former President Bill Clinton, a whole folder titled Clinton Trip, New York, LA, London. A lot of the faces are redacted, but you clearly see Clinton, Epstein, and unidentified people. Also, thousands of photos of young women in different poses, all redacted. And a folder titled the 119-page New York grand jury report, totally redacted. And look at this. High school pictures of girls, their faces redacted, most probably from local schools here in Palm Beach County, where Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell recruited them for his sexual massages. One folder labeled Epstein and Girls. You can see Epstein lying on a couch with a young girl, her face, as are all the victims, redacted. Earlier today, I spoke with former Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg about the release of these documents and why the public won't get to see everything from this investigation.
I think we'd be lucky if we got anything juicy, anything that mentions co-conspirators. I think they're going to withhold most of the good stuff. I think they're going to redact it, and it's going to be difficult to get the stuff anytime soon.
Former Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg skeptical the Department of Justice will release any telling details in the Epstein files.
The law says you don't need to turn over documents that pose a threat to national security or that are not unclassified, so Trump can just classify documents in his own mind perhaps, and that are subject to an ongoing criminal investigation. Well, you know, the administration started an investigation in the Southern District of New York on Democrats, so they could use any of these excuses to delay the document release or redact pretty much whatever they want to redact.
The deputy director of the DOJ already saying they can't release all of the files by Friday's deadline, but promising they'll come out over the next few weeks, infuriating Democrats threatening legal action for not following the law.
When it comes to names of the victims, they should be withheld. That's in the law. Their privacy should be protected. But when it comes to the names of the alleged co-conspirators, it should be game on. That's the whole purpose of the law.
Republican Representative Thomas Massie, who sponsored the Epstein Files Transparency Act, says the files should contain that information.
The victims' lawyers have been in contact with me, and collectively they know there are at least 20 names of men who are accused of sex crimes in the possession of the FBI. So if we get a large production on December 19th, and it does not contain a single name of any male who's accused of a sex crime or sex trafficking or rape or any of these things, then we know they haven't produced all the documents. It's that simple.
And so far, we have not seen any of those FBI summaries that could contain those names, but we still have lots of other documents to sort through, and we'll continue to do that over the next few days. We have a link to the DOJ's website where you can sort through the documents and photos yourself. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.